Initially, I thought the growth rate of broiler chickens was unmatched, but broiler ducks are even more astonishing. In just 40 days, their body weight increases by 70 times. Their factory price? Only $1 per half kilogram. I used to think the predecessor of roast duck looked like this, but in reality, they're turned into meat before their feathers are fully grown. The delicious residents of the farm live a life fully orchestrated by humans. Workers carefully select fertilized eggs and place them into incubators for 28 days of hatching. During this time, the incubation room's temperature is maintained at 36 to 38 degrees Celsius, with humidity at around 70%. The eggs must also be rotated daily. 5 days in, the unfertilized eggs are removed during the first round of screening. Under the light, the well-developing eggs show blood vessels starting to spread along the shell. Those with failed development turn black and are discarded, just like the unfertilized eggs. The qualified eggs are returned to the incubator, and 2 weeks later, they undergo a second screening. Once they pass the second check, they're mostly problem-free. Life arrives as expected. Around the 28th day of incubation, the deafening sound of chirping fills every corner of the hatchery. For people sensitive to noise, raising ducks is unbearable. Ducks are even noisier than chickens. With their broad beaks, their voices precede their bodies wherever they go. The ducklings, using all their strength, finally break free from their shells and take their first breath. Before they can react, they're relocated. Next, they are grabbed by the neck, feel a pinch, and receive an injection. As the saying goes, same people, different fates. Ducks are no exception. Born on the same day, in the same place, from the same batch, they face vastly different destinies. The only commonality? From the moment they're born, they're destined for confinement. Even for broiler ducks, their short lives require several vaccinations. Each growth stage comes with its own potential diseases. The farms prioritize prevention, because if a duck falls ill, it almost always results in financial loss. The survival of broiler ducks, even for just a few dozen days, depends heavily on luck. To minimize their suffering, workers carefully select the injection site, under the loose skin of the neck. After the vaccination, the ducklings are sorted and categorized. For these little ducks, their fate is determined by their gender. Experienced workers only need to touch the area near the duckling's back end to immediately distinguish males from females. At first glance, there's no significant difference between male and female ducks in appearance. But upon closer inspection, the truth becomes clear. Male ducklings have a single, noticeable nodule of flesh, while females have several smaller nodules. By examining their origins, 100% accuracy is achieved in identifying their essence. Workers can almost rely on touch alone to tell them apart. These naive little ducks don't realize, at that very moment, their destinies are already sealed. Life does not differentiate between high and low worth, but whether at the airport or on duck farms, male ducks are treated unfairly. Some farms even directly resort to humane euthanasia. Female ducks, capable of laying eggs, generally live longer. As for this batch of male ducklings, barring any surprises, they will only live for about 40 days. When they first arrive, the ducklings are quite pleased with their new environment. Workers prepare soft straw beds for them, and even equip the area with a swimming pool. Raising broiler ducks is like constructing a skyscraper. To make them bear the unbearable weight of life in such a short time, a solid foundation and strong framework are essential. The nutritious feed for ducklings not only provides energy, but also supplements calcium. In addition, they are given fortified drinking water to help regulate their digestive systems. Workers scatter the feed for the ducklings. When they first see food, the ducklings don't yet understand its deliciousness. They show no interest in the heavenly food before them. However, within a few days, the ducklings develop a taste for it. When mealtime comes, the workers simply toss the food into the shed, and without any prompting, the ducklings immediately start scrambling for it. Those in the center may or may not get a few bites, but plenty of shadowless kicks can be seen. Their appetite grows, and they eat to their fill. Within days, they transform into two-legged weevils, unable to stand back up if they topple over. To ensure their physical and mental health, the farm not only feeds them well, but also provides swimming passes daily. The chubby ducks are fond of water sports. As soon as it's free time, they switch to turbo mode. Those who can't keep up even seem to wish for an air propulsion system. With their downy little wings, flying is out of the question, but gaining some speed is possible. When they reach the pond, the ducklings happily take a bath. Afterward, they swagger back to their coops. Though space is limited, this is already considered excellent treatment. In some dryland farms, ducks have never even seen a pond. They only know water pipes. Thus, the ducks spend their days eating, drinking and playing. After about 20 days, their initial 2-ounce weight has soared to nearly 4 pounds. The first half of a broiler duck's life is essentially a contribution to capital. The second half is when workers finally see the fruits of their labor. To ensure further growth during the sprint phase, farms provide ducks with all-you-can-eat buffets around the clock. Broiler ducks, with their incredible feed conversion rates, can gain half a pound of meat for every pound of feed consumed. Rapid growth produces cheap duck meat, but without the refinement of time, the texture and flavor leave much to be desired. In the stifling, foul-smelling sheds, the ducks, like prisoners, spend the last dozen days of their lives. And then someone, in a stroke of creative genius, if the ducks can't eat anymore, workers will grab a tube and force-feed them directly. Ducks raised under this feeding method are the infamous sweet ducks. Excessive energy causes the ducks to develop fatty liver conditions. To ensure they survive until harvest, workers carefully monitor their condition during the fattening period, occasionally playing the role of a veterinarian. They add supplements to the drinking water to protect the duck's liver and gallbladder. Around 45 days in, the ducks grow to about 7 pounds. The workers don't want to wait a second longer and immediately herd them out of the coops, load them onto trucks, and send them to the slaughterhouse. At over 7 pounds, each duck can eat several ounces of feed a day. For farms working for capital, saving on feed means higher profits. After enduring dozens of days of hardships, the ducks' short lives come to an end at the slaughterhouse. Each batch of meat ducks must pass inspection before being allowed on the market. In most cases, some broiler ducks are sold live, while the majority are processed into duck embryos and distributed across the country through various processing methods. Some are turned into roasted ducks sold at 10 to 15 yuan per pound, while others become the more expensive Peking duck. Although the process of mass-producing broiler meat is cruel, it has provided people with affordable meat. The days when families could only afford meat once a month have become a thing of the past. Compared to these short-lived broiler ducks, laying ducks have much longer lifespans. However, this doesn't mean they live pleasant lives. Unlike broiler ducks, laying ducks aren't force-fed. Instead, they are made to endure hunger. After about 40 days of normal feeding, young female ducks are put on a restricted diet to maintain their body shape. They are fed only once a day, and each meal is limited to about 5 ounces. This continues until they lay their first egg. For pre-laying ducks, their intestines are filled with the constant cries of hunger, day and night. If workers grow soft-hearted, or can't resist giving them extra feed, all their previous efforts could be wasted. The greedy and domineering ducks, proud of securing more food, don't realize this gluttony could ultimately lead to their downfall. Workers periodically weigh the laying ducks for inspection. Female ducks that weigh over 8 pounds before laying eggs are directly eliminated. Overweight ducks struggle to lay eggs, and even if they are slimmed down, their egg production remains unstable. The workers control the weight of laying ducks to stay below 6 pounds. Around 150 days, the female ducks begin laying eggs in large quantities. To make egg collection easier, the workers prepare soft, comfortable nests in the corners for them. As the stars of the farm, these ducks are allowed to eat freely during their egg-laying period. Even if they fall ill, they are not given medication, ensuring that their bodies remain healthy and nutritionally sufficient. For duck eggs to continuously be produced at a high rate, well-managed farms can achieve an egg production rate of over 80% per day for female ducks. Once it drops below a certain threshold, the underperforming ducks are culled collectively to avoid negatively affecting the other ducks. Every duck strives to lay eggs as much as possible. With the effort of the breeding ducks, they usually live to be over 2 years old. In theory, egg-laying farms don't need male ducks to stimulate egg-laying in the female ducks. Some farms introduce a certain proportion of male ducks for cosplay. Under the temptation of these handsome males, female ducks become very active in laying eggs, wanting to pass on the male duck's genes and give birth to a better next generation. In breeding farms, artificial insemination is required for female ducks. Workers perform a massage on the male ducks' abdomens, and with a gentle squeeze of their back end, a white foamy fluid is released. These fluids are not waste, they are the male duck semen. Every 1 to 2 days, the female ducks are inseminated. As breeding machines, these female ducks spend their entire lives laying eggs, without ever raising any offspring. They never even know who their mate is. The work conditions for the ducks nearing the end of their lifespan are good, but few people are willing to do it. The difficulty for workers is not the technical aspect, but the mess. People in the farming industry are truly remarkable. They deal with the dirtiest and smelliest tasks, and bring us clean meat. Duck farming is one of the most polluting types of animal husbandry. In many areas, farmers can raise 10 or so ducks, but once it becomes large-scale farming, regulations and inspections come into play. Unlike chickens, which only have diarrhea when they're sick, ducks do this every day. They have straight intestines and can't control their waste, releasing biochemical weapons into the water at any time, wherever they are. Over time, this results in the water quality in the ponds deteriorating. The contaminated water may even affect the local drinking water source. These farm ducks generally have a productive lifespan of over 600 days. Once they can no longer produce, they are turned into meat ducks. Whether they are broiler ducks or older ducks, they hardly contain any hormones, with genes for rapid growth. When fed well and kept healthy, all living beings have the potential to grow quickly. Thank you for watching, and we'll see you next time.